Here we go. So with that, let's kick us off. Anyone who isn't able to join, we will get them into the recording. We are going to meet on a regular basis every single Tuesday. This will be a standing meeting for anyone who can join in. We will have different conversations and have different guest speakers and learn from each other as we come together. So my name is Joanne Pryor. I'm a sales manager here at Nu Skin, and I love being able to help everyone reach their goals. So I do want to share a little bit about, I read all of your questions and things you want to learn about, and we can absolutely talk about how do I get a scanner? What do I need to do? And all of the nitty gritty basics. But what I really want to do is give as much time as possible for our guest speaker. So I'm going to actually kick it over to Kim. I'm going to give a quick introduction because I think it's so important. Some of you know Kim really well. For some, you might be meeting her for the very first time. But Kim Russell, thank you for joining us. She is proudly married to the bald guy. She is a busy mom of 4, a doting mama of 5 grandkids. She has been in Nu Skin for 14 years. She has been rocking this business for 14 years, an 8-year team elite. These are amazing feats. Also, a chief ambassador for 10 plus years for Nourish the Children, and an ambassador for Malawi. She has been on the Malawi project. I cannot wait to hear about that one day. We're having a big conversation about that. As also being a part of so many other projects, the Smile Project, and 20 or more trips. So Kim knows how to get things done. And when she's not rocking her Nu Skin business, she is also an author. She has founded the Morning Glory Ranch charity, and she's going to tell us all of her reasons why she loves a scanner, why she loves what she does. So over to you, Kim. Thank you for joining us today.
You're gonna make me cry already. See, I should bring some tissue to the greenhouse. Well, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, I guess it is for everybody. I know in Newfoundland, it's like 2.5 hours, like they have their own little time zone. But anyway, welcome everybody. I'm so excited that Ricky reached out to Joanne, had Joanne contact me. Really been focused on the scanner for a lot of years. Little bit about me. There's really not much more than what she said, other than I started the business 14 years ago, really wanting that device. As the founder of a charity, I saw that as a way for us to come in and actually measure and empower the parents of the clients that we were working with. The majority of our clients were acquired brain injuries of some type, whether it be autism or cerebral palsy or Down syndrome, whatever. It was atypical neuro. We did equine therapy research with those children, and when we came into this device, it was during a time where the economy was really bad, so there wasn't a lot of nonprofit dollar. I had just walked away from a 25-year career in education, and said, I've got to figure out a way to save this place and keep these kids in their programs. So we knew what we did was life-changing. For the families, it brought them hope. For the kids, it brought them a higher quality of life. So for me, it became a passion for me to figure out a way to save it. And I don't know about all of you, but the first thing I did was sit in a pasture and have a conversation with 22 horses and said the biggest prayer I'd ever said in my life. And I just asked God, please put me where I need to be. Huge transition in my life. Walked away from the only thing I ever knew, which was education and that automatic paycheck every month. But I was capped out as a principal. I mean, you get ceilinged out. And so I said, I'm going to go do what it is my heart is telling me to do. And that is to go in here and work in this charity that I've had for 12 years. So as it be, I was on a plane. God sits me next to Dr. Bill Toth, and Julie Toth is on the call today. She was on the plane as well. She just wasn't sitting by us. And at 35,000 feet, I got the gift of Nu Skin, and a lot of stuff in there that led us along the way. But Dr. Bill became a board member. I wanted this device so badly because it would bring a concrete measurement into the organization. It would give the parents the power to actually make changes that they could measure and see. And so we went to work doing that. And I don't know, 14 years ago, 13 years ago, I guess, when I acquired the device, no one even knew what Nu Skin was, much less the spaceship that I was pulling out of a big medical bag along with a laptop and a bunch of cords. And so people kind of thought I was crazy, had lost my mind, and I didn't fit in that mainstream. So I said, the ones that really want to be empowered will be here, and the ones that aren't will be back. And that's the way I saw things. So we just started measuring, and it became kind of a passion for me to just measure every kid on the planet. And I learned from Carla Hill early on that, those are called BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. They're goals you put out there in front of you that you don't, that you're just going to chase with blinders on. And that's what we did. And so that was my mission. And so I talked to every person I saw, whether it was at a gas station, at a grocery store line, it didn't matter where I was. I was asking people to take 20 minutes to look at something to help me save my charity. And that was kind of my tagline. That was my elevator speech at the time. And so then I quickly learned that the skincare side, the vanity side, was what was really going to propel the cash flow into the organization. So that's a call for another day. So I kind of what today I thought, I wanted to just kind of give you the big picture of what this device means to you and to the people and the people that you're gonna know, and to your business. It actually is the foundation of the company. The company is founded on scientific innovations. They're founded on quality innovations. The nutraceutical side is my game. It's my jam. It's what I know. I've made it my mission and my passion to learn as much as I can about the nutraceutical side. After spending 12 years with a charity, with people bringing every magic, potion in a bottle to me, telling me that that's going to help my families and my kids in the program. I really learned how to separate, what was going to be good for our bodies and our cells versus what was going to build up a toxicity over time. And that's one thing I can tell you, is that this company will produce products that will enhance the protection of those cells in your body, every single one of them, as well as nourish your system. And over time, the products are so clean that you will never have to worry about it not working. Whether it's now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it's always going to nourish you. And so that science and success testing and all of those things that you guys can go look up are another day, but those things were just validations that what we were getting in the nutraceuticals were actually the optimum. There is still, to this day, the best on the product, best on the planet. There is nothing better to put in the human body, and some horses and some dogs, than our ageLOC and Pharmanex. When I was bringing this in, we would measure, the children and their families, and and they always wanted to know what to do. What do I do about this? Because now they have some knowledge, which knowledge is power. And when you give a parent who has lived under the stress of caretaking a child with an atypical neuro some power, you've given them hope. And so we taglined bringing hope through innovation. And Nu Skin, Pharmanex, and ageLOC, and that device was the hope, the innovation that was bringing hope. So we taglined that about 13 years ago. And still to this day, that's what you do every day. When you talk to somebody about this company or about these products, you're bringing them a piece of hope in their life. And when you can measure them, now you're bringing that innovation in that will allow them to be able to be empowered enough to go make that change. So that's what we did. And so we put together a little set of products that we used, a small protocol that we could actually try to measure over time. Now, so I saw some of the questions, and I don't have time today to go into all the questions, but one thing that stood out was, you know, a scanner certified product versus one that's not. And I'm going to tell you now that every single product they produce will help increase cell protection. Because it's not labeled scanner certified does not mean it's not building cell protection and nourishment in the body. It just means that they didn't run the extra testing on it to be able to put that label on it. But because of the way they innovate and build and create these products, all of the products that we have internally will nourish the body. So I want to kind of put that out there as a holistic piece. Okay. So I don't want you to separate products that are scanner certified versus ones that are not. When you're talking to people about what's going to be best for them, I need you to know that all of them will nourish the body. So on that note, we quickly had to find a quick solution when we would measure about what was going, you know, what do I do now? I mean, these parents have put, you know, everything they own financially, emotionally, physically into this child, and, you know, handing them a $400 a month tab on some nutraceuticals was not necessarily in the picture for them. However, they would have found it, and a lot of them did. And that's one thing that comes up a lot with our nutraceuticals is they're expensive. Well, first of all, I learned from Dr. Bill that it's as compared to what? First of all, there is no comparison. And second of all, people find money for what's important to them. And if being well and staying well and essentially repairing the body over time is important to them, they find the money. They'll redirect that money. And so we started with Vitamil, mainly because at the time it was $23 or $25 for a bag that would feed their kid for a whole month. So we found that to be something that paired along with the scanner all day, every day. Anytime we were measuring somebody, we had that bag. I mean, it just needs to be connected to the device all the time. And we would get bags donated to the organization from all over the world and from the network of people we were building, so that we could give those bags to those parents every month as they measured their children and their families. We didn't just segregate it to their children. Their whole family had to be involved in this whole empowerment move. So we did that, and over time, after a couple of years of all of these families getting Vitamil, they learned some really great ways to cook it. And so Nurse the Children is another day. I've actually done a YouTube directly on Nurse the Children and Force for Good. So that's already out there. But it was fun to bring that in as a fun thing to do when you have a lot of people that have figured out a way to make Vitamil. We just have Vitamil cook-offs, and it was really fun for the organization. We've had some other organizations pick up this same type of philosophy, and they would start measuring it within their organizations using Vitamil as the main source, and then creating a awareness event around it through the organization. So those of you that are connected to organizations in your communities, that's always a really fun way to get people engaged and to kind of learn about, you know, the Force for Good Foundation as well as the device and how important it is for internal wellness. So on that big picture, that's kind of what we went through. I'm trying to think, Joanne, keep me steady here, or I'm going to go off the rails. What am I doing next?
You're doing great. You're doing great. I'm trying not to interrupt our recording, so I hope you can hear me. I had to jump on my phone as well.
Yeah. So the big picture of what we have is an empowerment device. Joanne's going to go into how you get it and all of those things. And those things are going to all change over time as we put together how to weave this device into the social platform. All of you that are actually measuring or have a device should put together some content on using it, measuring it, being excited with it, boomerangs with it, all the deal, all of the things, so that you can start to put out there, you know, the awareness of this device, which we didn't have when I started. So I was all over the place with that thing. I think something that's important when you're trying to explain what that number means, and I kind of wanted to go here and then we can kind of wrap things up. But um, one of the ways I know when you're measuring people and people are like, what does that mean? And then you're locked up because you're not a biochemist and you didn't research it for 14 years. And so you don't know really what to say about it. I have two different analogies that have come up over time. One is if your car is sitting outside and it's running and in park, then it's idling, and it's idling smooth and it's idling healthy. But when you sit down in that car and you push the gas pedal to the floor, now all of a sudden the engine is racing. And it's just going to be a matter of time before something in that engine blows. If the car is a newer car, it's going to take a little longer for the engine to blow certain parts of it. If it's an older car, it's probably going to blow some parts sooner. So the number is essentially how far down that gas pedal is. If your number is low, the gas pedal's on the floor and the engine's running at high RPM, which means that the body is having to struggle to fight off the free radical intake, the free radical damage that's occurring to all of your cells in your body. So the goal is to increase the number so that you can pull your foot up off that gas pedal and let that engine run smoother, longer, more efficient. Now, those little pieces of the engine that start to blow, allergies, asthmas, joint aches, all the different issues that people come to me with, those are all just red lights blinking on the dashboard of the car saying, hey, we don't have any cell protection here. Free radicals are hammering us and we're having to go into chronic inflammatory response. And we don't have the molecules we need to keep this engine running smooth. Hello, hello, hello. And that is what those are. So when people come to you with whatever story they're wrapping themselves around, at the end of the day, it is that number. It is the most important biomarker people can get. And that you can go get blood work, you can get CT scans, you can get all kinds of different testings. But that number is the only number that's going to measure over a 4 to 6, 7 week period of time biochemically, mainly because what you put in your mouth takes about 45 days for it to actually get to the site of action. It has to go through all of the different parts of the engine so that it can get all the way out to the site of action, which is your skin. And so the higher free radical damage you have going on in your system, the less that's going to be able to get to the site of action. So to me, there's no better empowerment than that number. And it is the second largest health science database in the world. So they can Google carotenoids and get hundreds of thousands of pieces of validation on why that number should be high for any issue on the planet. So it's not something we have to, we don't have to sell it. You just measure, you give them love where they are, you give them a few options on how they can quickly make that change. And then you let people sleep and pray on it and figure out how it's going to fit best into their world. And so that was one analogy. The other was one that came up with a teenager one day that was saying, hey, that's kind of like the floor is 0 and the top of my head is 100,000. Because I always tell people no matter what their score is, it's a good start. I don't care if you score 80,000, that's still just a good start. You need to be over 100,000. And so they would say, okay, the top of your head is 100,000. Well, if your score is 20,000, then you're only getting nutrient absorption, cell protection to about the middle of your calf. that means the rest of your body is very exposed to anything environmental, internal toxicity going on. And so you're going to have parts of the engine blow. It's just biochemically impossible for it not to blow. So it's some simple ways that I hope help you to be able to communicate what that means without having to get all scientific. And these are just things I've learned over time and teaching lots of different operators around the world, actually, how to kind of talk to parents or people that they're measuring. And so I think on that, I hope I gave you all the big picture today. I'm really trying to keep this short and sweet today. So Joanne, is that pretty good at closing down this one?
I love that. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks so much, guys. Kim, beautiful. I love the analogies. I love that you shared your heart and what this has meant. It's a tip of the iceberg. I know you have so much to give and share. I want to quickly review how it is you go about getting a scanner. For those of you on the call that are joining us today and are wondering, what do I need to do to get one of these scanners? Do I need to be in the medical field? Absolutely not. You need to have a passion for people, which I know you all have. And to register to have a scanner, it is a lease agreement. So it is a lease, and every brand rep or executive is eligible to submit a lease agreement. You find your lease agreement in the back office. Now, for those of us that are talking to people that are brand new, that are not yet an executive, they have options. So if you know someone that really needs to have this in their business, in their practice, in their life, they can either purchase an HCP kit, a healthcare professional kit, and then apply for the scanner, put in their lease, or we can work with them to become an exec. And we know what that's going to look like come November, and help them get to executive and then put in their lease agreement. Now, with the lease agreement, that is a commitment on a monthly basis. So it's a commitment every month that you're going to have a lease. And with that lease, we do give you credits. You get scan credits. And we can go into all the nitty gritty. But here's my best advice. If you have a scanner and you go into the scan program, you need to make that conscious decision that you are going to actively use this scanner, that you are going to go out, you are going to measure people. Thank you for those words, Kim. We're going to measure people, and then we're going to give them options. We're going to share with them the options of products that are going to help them improve their measurement, right? And with that, you are eligible for a scan credit bonus, a scan bonus for each person that you scan, who then commits to a subscription. You earn a scan bonus when that subscription is one of, I believe there are 7 different scanner certified products. That's the only time that list matters, is when you're going after the scanner bonus. As Kim said, all the products are going to be beneficial, but there are a certain number, a certain set of products. And I will send all of you a video of a training that we did last week with one of the scientific doctors and advisors who goes through those products in particular. Okay. Now, sorry, I have a runny nose. I apologize. So those scan credits, so the bonus is $8. So your lease is going to be about $145 a month. Your bonus is $8 per scan. So you can do the math. If you start scanning, you want to make sure you're scanning and converting so that you have subscriptions. Yay, subscription-based business is the best. And you also receive the scan bonuses. This is not a tool that you bring into your business and you do nothing with. This is a tool that we use. This is something we go and we bless others by doing the measuring and helping them find products that are going to help them in their life. And that is the gist of it.
Yeah, that's perfect, Joanne. And I really want to encourage, since we're kind of starting this off before the new device gets here, is to completely remove the word scan or scanner. That's a scary thing. It indicates medical connotations. We found that if you just say the word device and the word measure or measurement, so if you get a measurement credit or a device credit, take the word scan or scanner completely out. And I have asked them to actually rename it, to take that word off of it. And I've given them reasons why, but we'll see
Yeah.
if they actually do it. But for
We'll
you,
use it as our internal language simply because then we're internally knowing, but when we're talking to people, absolutely, Kim, you're so bang on.
so that's just something that's going to make life easier for you out there in the field. It's going to put people immediately more at ease. It's a much more friendly language. So that was one thing that I've really wanted to change for the last 10 years is that language.
So I just want to again review the ways you get paid, because I think that's important that we understand how are we going to be compensated for using this and sharing this. First of all, you are earning when you have someone purchasing products, you have the opportunity to earn retail profit. We're all familiar with retail profit. That is available to you if you're using the product and selling product at full retail. You will also, with the new compensation plan, you will have selling bonus, right? So remember, you have selling bonus. You also, when you're building a team, you have all of the other compensation plan benefits. You also are able to, if you're a medical practitioner, I know that there are some medical practitioners that will use this in their clinic setting, and they do have a fee associated with it. That is something that is specific to where you live and what your role is and how you are using the device. So I want you to consider that as well. So we do know that there are many ways that you can benefit for yourself, but you're also being able to help so many others. Our call next week is going to be really around the Nourish the Children, because I want Kim to even go further into how did she become a Nourish the Children ambassador? How did that happen? And how can we all make that a bigger part of what we do here at Nu Skin? So that's going to be a big piece for next week. And then we will go into more product training as well. So if there are specific questions, I'd love to open the floor. If anyone has a specific question, maybe we can have Kim answer, 4 or 5 questions.
Well, this is good.
If
Okay,
you have
I
a
have
question,
one.
just come off mute and ask.
I have one that's been asked of me, and I love this new package because it has the Mind 360 and the collagen in it. So I want to see from Kim her perspective of how those two brand new things that have come on the we didn't have those when we were doing scanners measurements, how they might play into all this, because I love the new Mind 360.
So you want to know about the
Yeah.
Mind 360 and how it correlates to the device?
Yes.
So, first of all, if you look at the ingredients that are in there, that are in all of the Mind 360 products, you can go Google those. I mean, they're high antioxidant ingredients. And since the device is measuring antioxidants, specifically carotenoids, you're going to get an increase in your score by taking any of those or all of those. Okay. Specifically, the Mindful is got the same ingredient in it that we use in Meta. And it's also in youth. So it's highly concentrated in carotenoids. And so they went ahead and made that a certified product because they know that it is going to help raise absorption. Without getting too scientific, a carotenoid is going to help 1 million cascading chains of chemical reactions convert to carotenoids. So when you take in products that have carotenoids or types of antioxidants, the body's going to convert a lot of those into a lot of different types of antioxidants that the body needs. So just like I said, just because we don't put the label of certified on it doesn't mean that it's not all going to come in and produce these antioxidant effects in the body. But all 4 of those together, when you take all 4 of mine together, and my son's been on all 4, it's another conversation, you're going to amplify the effect of each one of them, some of them 100-fold. So depending on that person's biochemistry, but in singularity, they work amazing. But when you combine them, they are designed to synergistically fire each other 10, 20, sometimes 100-fold. And that's why you're going to see the result on the device faster.
Kim,
Did that
I have a question. I remember when we carted around that it was like a bag of golf clubs, that the bag that you had to hold the old scanner in. We almost needed a separate vehicle just to haul that stuff around. And but one of the things that I love doing is when somebody sat there and they saw that they were in the red, they're looking for a solution. And one of the things that we had, because we were cognizant of the fact that people were price sensitive and that kind of thing, I would love now that we incorporate these new items, but it's like, here are ways to begin to turn that bucket around with some suggestions of what people need to put on a subscription. For example, I remember when we started, some people with just pea green, you know, and if they weren't able to get on Life Pack Nano and Youth and R Square and all, you know, we called it that heavenly, I'm not sure, it's Mrs. Santa, it's like it's
yeah, we can hear Miss Santa.
he's coming in on the sleigh. But anyway, if they're
I'm so sorry, I can't hear him.
Hi, Mr. Santa. Yeah, we can hear
Hi.
Mrs. Santa's line. But if there's some way that we could have, here's suggested starts in different price points, I think it would be so good, because then people don't have that. We have so many good things and they get confused. And I think just giving them a little roadmap, here's a $50 solution, here's a $75 solution, here's a, you know.
Absolutely, Carla, I love it. And Kim and I are all over it. Like, we are just starting our brains are firing like crazy on so many ideas. So we will put that on the hit list for sure.
Yeah. And I'm going to challenge all of you, if you're going to be on this consistently, or if you're going to have this device long-term, I would like to see what y'all are creating as your good, better, best. Only 3 choices, people. The neuro does not, I mean, once the neuro gets over 3, it won't do anything. So 3 choices. I want a good, better, best. And I want to challenge all of you to bring to the table what you feel a good package would be, which is kind of a lower price point. What a better package would be kind of the medium. And then what is the best, most optimum, let's get ourselves well in the shortest period of time package is.
Fabulous. Great challenge. Bring that.
And Joanne and I will come up with, because there are so many options, y'all. You could make 2 good packages and 4 better packages, and you know, there are so many options. So it just depends on who you're working with and what you got going on. But we will come back with what everybody should be on, period, no matter what's going on.
Bare minimums.
And we'll do that. Yeah.
All right. Good, better, best. I love it. Any other questions today? So again, executive or brand rep and above, you are eligible to put in for a lease agreement. Anyone that is new can get their way there. They also can. There are no restrictions. It is a commitment. It is a month-to-month commitment. And with that, you want to make sure you're using it. A gym membership is only as good as the number of times you show up to the gym. This will only perform for us if you show up and use it and help other people.
Joanne, thank you so much. Oh, go, Jules.
Sorry. Real quick. What is the minimum that you have to scan per month? Is there something along the lines with that, with the scan cards?
Your scanner commitment, there are 50 scan credits per month that are a part of your lease. Now, if you want more scans than that, you can pay for more, but you will always receive 50 credits every single month.
Okay, so you can do
and when
less.
you're first getting started, there is a bit of a bonus. But yeah, definitely 50. I know what's been shared with me is about 60% convert to a subscription. The credits do roll over. They are compounding. So if you don't use them, they carry forward. But you want to figure out if 60% are converting, what is that going to look like?
And we can have a call on just the money behind this too.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah, we'll make that.
I've got an interactive spreadsheet where you can put in how many you're doing. I mean, so yeah, there's and there's some strategies we can do with that as well.
Yeah, But today we really just wanted you to hear the heart of it. And I know the question was, how do I get one? That's why I'm bringing that up. But yes, we want to talk about money, the products, and the why. Because when we have the why right, everything else falls into place.
All right. Thank you, Joanne. I'm so glad to
thank
have a
you. Thank you,
connection with the
everyone.
company now, that somebody that's going to go and be my voice up there, because I scream really loud sometimes.
I'm
So
here.
I'm excited. And I'm so excited to see all of you, Jules and Carla. I love you.
Yeah, we've got a great group. We've got all sorts of leaders from all over, brand executives from all over wanting to do this. So we're going to run.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a beautiful day.